Perceive, process, perform. Do you need inspiration for your practice? Or do you simply need to practice inspiration? With this series, we aim to do both. Give us 15 minutes and we'll give you practice inspiration. Ian McNickle is a nationally recognized marketer, writer, and speaker who has developed significant experience in online marketing, website optimization, SEO, PPC, social media, video marketing, and online reputation management. In this presentation, he provides an overview of the things you need to know about online marketing for your dental practice.
Hello, I'd like to talk to you today about online marketing, especially for dental office and dental office websites. What we're going to cover are a number of different topics, but in particular I want to focus on online marketing to start with. At a fundamental level, online marketing is primarily about two things. Okay? Number one, it's about driving traffic to your website. That is accomplished in a lot of different ways. So there's search engine optimization, which you've probably heard of. There's pay-per-click, which can be applied to Google and other search engines, even social media sites. Social media, video marketing, video production, those can also drive traffic. Referral websites, there are a lot of ways to drive traffic to your website. That's kind of job one. If we think about this as kind of like a two-job format, job one is drive traffic. Job two, okay, now we've got the traffic, that's great, but if nobody calls the office, if nobody contacts us and ultimately comes in and visits, then we really just kind of wasted our time and money, right? So what we're really trying to do is once we've got the traffic, job one, job two is convert the traffic. We call that website conversion. For a dental office, that is call the office, fill out an appointment request form, or email the office. Those would be the conversion activities we want to drive and foster through the website. So let's talk about driving traffic, okay? If we're going to understand how we drive traffic, it's really helpful, I think, to understand first and foremost, how do search engines work, okay? So we'll talk about Google. Google is the big 800-pound gorilla, as everybody knows. And so with Google, in particular, they look at literally hundreds of variables on your website. And when they're looking at a website, for most websites, for my website, for your website, normal websites, search engines generally will come back every 30 days and look at your website. And when they do that, they're going to compare on a line-by-line, page-by-page basis to what they saw, what the search engine saw 30 days prior, okay? If nothing has changed on your website in the last 30 days, your website rankings will probably stay stagnant. If other people around you have been active with their online activity, then quite possibly your rankings could drop, okay? So it's important to understand the reason why search engine optimization and social media and website updates and a lot of these things need to be done on a fairly frequent basis is simply because of the nature of how search engines work. It's a very much a what have you done for me lately kind of a thing, okay? And so once we understand that, once we understand what the rules of the game are, now we can start playing by those rules. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about driving traffic. There are a lot of things that can drive traffic, right? In particular, first and foremost, you want to optimize the website, and that one I'm going to dig into in a little bit more detail here with the next few slides. But beyond that, of course, there's search engine optimization, there's pay-per-click ads, we can talk about that as well. Social media. For dental practices, I would say, I mean, again, there are hundreds of social media practices, or websites and platforms out there. And so it's important to kind of focus your efforts so you're not really wasting a lot of time on social media. Social media can be an awesome tool. It can also be a fantastic way to waste time, okay? We don't want to waste time. So with social media in particular for dental practices, usually Facebook, Google+, and in particular YouTube, those are probably the most beneficial and best bang for your buck, really, in terms of your time and effort. But in addition to that, there's other things we can do with video marketing. Once you create videos, we can leverage that throughout the internet. So the nice thing about a video is it's an asset. You can think of it like an asset. And once we've got that asset, we can leverage it in a lot of different areas. Videos can be leveraged on your website, of course on YouTube. You can put them on Facebook, you can put them on Google+, and then many other social media sites where you can incorporate them. In addition, and we're not talking about this specifically right now, but also with online reputation, online reviews. There are a number of review sites where you can also embed videos. So videos have wide and broad application that are very beneficial. In terms of driving traffic, though, they do help with search engine optimization. There's also referral websites, and that can be things like review sites like Health Grades, Manta, those types of things, but also insurance websites. If you're taking certain types of insurance, those can also drive traffic. So it's important to understand where your traffic is coming from, and if you have Google Analytics installed on your website, which if you have a webmaster, ask them about that, they can explain it to you. But Google Analytics allows you to see where all your traffic is coming from, and that'll give you a good idea what is working and what is not working in terms of driving your traffic. But you really need to understand, number one, where is the traffic coming from, and then how do we optimize that? So the first thing we talked about there was optimizing the website. I want to spend a few slides just to dig into a little detail here, because I find a lot of times the website is truly kind of the fundamental, that foundational bedrock of your online marketing, your digital marketing, right? So let's talk about a website briefly. So what is a website, okay? I think we all know what a website is, right? We've got graphics, we've got pictures, there's a navigation bar, maybe there's some links, maybe there's some little social media buttons, things like that. And so that's a website, right? That's what you and I see when we look at a website. Not rocket science, Ian, what are you telling me here? Well, here's the point I'm trying to make, okay? This is also a website. So that one page we were just looking at, that one, not the whole website, but just that one page is over 500 lines of code. Just make up that one page, okay? So it's really important to understand then when we're talking about websites, we're talking about what people see and what search engines see, which really brings me to my next slide here. My next point is really this. Websites are built and designed and need to be optimized for two audiences, okay? Number one is people, number two, search engines. Both audiences are very important. If you want to get the best result from your online and your digital marketing efforts, then you have to understand how websites and search engines work so you can really get the best bang for your buck. Okay, so audience number one, people, right? If we build a website for people, what matters? What are the important factors, okay? A lot of this stuff you can do yourself on your existing website. Some of these things you might need help with maybe some marketing people, if you have people on staff or so forth. But things you really want to think about when you're building the website for people. First and foremost, the design, it needs to be modern. If it's a dated website, if it looks kind of templated, that type of thing, it doesn't project as maybe a professional image as you might like for your practice. Also, the use of actual photos, actual videos, that kind of thing, as opposed to stock images. We really want to try to avoid the stock photos if we can. It's great. I mean, some doctors and some staff I don't want my photo on the website. Trust me, it is really helpful to have your photo or your image on a website, even if it's just the office or aspects of the office or staff or action shots. Just have actual photos as much as you can. It's very beneficial. Okay. In terms of the content, also it should be educational. It should be informative. You don't need to spend a great deal of time with your content, kind of convincing them that you're really good, because the general public assumes, hey, you're a doctor, you're good, right? That's the assumption. And so it's really, the website's more about connecting. Because if you think fundamentally what's happening with online marketing, at its most fundamental base level, what's happening, right? You've got a human being looking at an electronic screen. That's it, right? Somehow, that electronic screen that I'm looking at has to connect with me. How does it do that, right? Well, it's got to have useful and valuable content. It's got to attract and appeal to me somehow, okay? Videos is one of the most impactful ways we can do that. So we're huge advocates of videos. It also should, the website should also demonstrate your expertise a little bit, but also the contact information, which is really, you think about it's educational in process, but then when you get to what are we really trying to accomplish by having people visit the website, well, then it comes back to the conversion. And so that's the second piece we'll talk about in a minute. So those are the things that matter when you're building it for people. Okay? When you're building websites for search engines, it's a totally different list that we're looking at here. Search engines couldn't care less about your warm fuzzy office, don't care about your personality, don't care how many certificates or continuing education units you have, couldn't care less, right? That's not how search engines work. Search engines are robots, they're algorithms, that's what they do. And so they're looking at very specific things that we understand, mostly. First and foremost, search engines like unique content, okay? So if you, for example, if your website was purchased at a big state, dental trade show kind of a thing, and it's a kind of a big templated website and it's got duplicate content, that's not going to help you with search engine performance. Search engines like unique content, okay? Meaning if you didn't write the website content yourself or that somebody on your staff didn't write it for you, then odds are very good that it's duplicate content. Search engines do not like that. Now again, for people, we couldn't care less, right, if it's unique or not. I don't care. If I'm on your website and I'm reading about dental implants and it accurately explains what a dental implant is, I'm fine with that. That's all I need, right? I'm a person. But a search engine doesn't care if it's technically accurate. It could be technically wrong, but as long as it's unique, you'll actually get more benefit from it. And that's the funny thing about Google, right? You could have something that's technically wrong about dental implants, but if it's unique, it will rank better than something that's technically right, but duplicate content. Go figure that one out. But that's how it works, okay? So you want to have both, right? We want to be technically correct, obviously, but we also want to have unique content. So make sure it's unique. If you don't have unique content, start rewriting it. Also with search engines, search engines like one topic per page. This is something you can do yourself. You can implement this yourself. Take a look at your website. If your site says, here's all of our procedures, boom, 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 boom. If you're a general dentist, maybe you list off 8 different cosmetic services. Or if you're an oral surgeon or a periodontist, maybe you're listing TMJ and extractions and implants and all this kind of thing. If you have a list of services, again, for the people audience, that's okay. We understand the context. We get it. Right? Search engines, they get confused. Search engines like one topic per page. So it's okay if you have an overview page with all these different topics listed out, that's okay. But in addition to that, have a link from each one of those services where it links to a page that's uniquely and fundamentally just about that one topic. If you will do that one thing and make sure that the content is unique, then that, I guarantee that will increase the traffic and the amount of keywords your website's being found for. And again, these are things, a lot of the stuff I'm talking about right now, these are things you guys can do yourself to implement and make a big difference on your search engine and your website performance, okay? There are a lot of other things search engines care about, and it's kind of beyond the scope of this today. Code, backlinks, there's a lot of other stuff. I will say in general, also search engines do care about social media activity, so something to keep in mind. So that's driving traffic, okay? Job 1, drive traffic. Now what's job 2? Converting traffic, right? So once we've got that traffic, we want that traffic to convert, to call the office, to email the office, to fill out an appointment request form. These are the activities that we get it closer to actually people coming in the office with scheduled appointments, right? That's the ultimate goal. So what is gonna help drive your website conversion, right? Well, a lot of things do. Having a nice modern design is important. If I come to a website and it's really old and dated or ugly or it's confusing to navigate, that's a turnoff. I'm probably gonna leave your site and go look for somebody else's site. That's not a good thing. So it needs to be a nice modern design. That's important, okay? Also, what we call conversion elements, okay? A contact us button, a request an appointment button, or a schedule now, those types of things. Having your phone number, for example, like if I come to your website and I have to scroll down to the bottom of the page to find your phone number, that's bad, okay? If I have to look on, the contact us page is the only place I can get any kind of contact information about your practice, that's bad. Don't make people search to contact you. That's kind of one of the fundamental rules of a website. The fewer clicks to get where you need to go, the better, okay? Don't bury things. So if your phone number should be top of the website and the top banner on every single page. There's something called above the fold, okay? Important elements need to be what's called above the fold. So if you come, let's say this is your screen, right? You're looking at a computer screen. Everything that you see when you first come to that is above the fold. As soon as you start scrolling down, what's below that is called below the fold. So the elements on your website that affect conversion, the phone number, the appointment request button, those kind of things, they need to be above the fold on every page. And this is something you can check yourself. Go take a look at your website. If you haven't looked at it, dust off the cobwebs and go look at that thing and take a look and see, okay, where's my website? Where's my phone number on this thing? Is it anywhere where I can see it? Is it on every page easily, visibly seen? Do I have an appointment request button? If so, is it on every page above the fold, right? If you don't have those things in place, no problem. Just have whoever your website company is make those changes for you. It's not rocket science. A lot of other things affect conversion, right? Videos, unique videos, content, a lot of things will help drive that. Videos are probably beyond the position of the elements and the design of the website, were probably two of the most important things. Beyond that, having a nice overview video of your practice is one of the most impactful things you can do to really drive traffic, to convert that traffic, that is. So if you think about this in terms of a metric that we can monitor, because we really ultimately want to understand and not guess, is our marketing working? We want to know whether or not it's working, right? So part of how we do that is we develop metrics that actually correlate to new patients coming in the door. Okay, one of those is website conversion rate. So if you think about conversion rate as like, let's say for every 100 people who come to that website, how many of those people actually convert? Meaning they call the office, request an appointment, fill out a form, something like that, right? So if you had 5 phone calls, 5 forms, and 5 emails sent, that would be like 15 activities out of 100 people. So your conversion rate would be 15%, for example, which is pretty good. But you want to track that. So every month you want to track how many conversions or activities are we getting from our website and how much traffic, and then you can understand your conversion rate. And then over time you can track and see, is my website performing better? So again, because that way we can optimize both levers, right? But you got to track this stuff. Oh, what if we don't have a website? What about that? Right? What's the conversion rate of 0 divided by something? It's not very good, is it? It's not good. So my message with this slide, obviously, we need to have a website, okay? Today's modern environment, everybody everywhere goes online. Think about the referral process. If you talk to somebody, whether you're a specialist and you get your referrals from other general dentists, or if you're a general dentist or an orthodontist or pediatric and you're marketing to the general public, whatever it is, if you don't have a website, I guarantee that a percentage of your referrals are probably falling through the cracks. So you've got to have a website. Likewise, it's really important to track the data. So we need to understand, how many people are calling us through the website. Ideally, we always recommend using a phone tracking number, okay? Put a phone number on there. When people call that, it routes to your actual office number. And then when they do that, you can track and see all the calls coming from your website. Now you understand conversion of your website. Lots of other things affect that, but ultimately we want to measure the things that matter most, right? The traffic and the conversions. And once we have those two sets of data, now we can really start understanding how is my online marketing working, and better yet, how do we optimize it and get better over time? Because ultimately it's about return on investment, right? So the main points I wanted to make today. When you think about your online marketing, in particular your website, there's really two levers that we have to optimize here, right? We've got traffic and conversion. We want to track them and optimize them, make them better, okay? Remember also, websites are built for two audiences, people and search engines, and there are different sets of criteria for each. And then ultimately, and the main point really is this, return on investment, your investment of your marketing, the ROI is going to be best when the website and the conversion rate are optimized, okay? So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Again, thank you very much, and we look forward to speaking with you again. Thanks.